Yeah, we're going to go live to Lincoln Graves up in the West Hills on Skyline. Lincoln, what we are seeing from his camera now, a power line has come down because of, we assume, from the weight of some snow and ice on the power line. And you can see it arcing at the on the ground, and a car there underneath is in some kind of danger. And we have some barricades out there now. Just look at the glow there from that power line that is down. Lincoln Graves, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
We can. Go ahead, tell us what's happening.
Oh, okay. You can obviously see what's happening through that camera shot. A power line on the ground. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry.
Are you in a safe situation there right now, your location to what's happening? I know fire crews are there as well, Lincoln.
Yes, we are safe, Natalie. I was inside our live truck when something, we saw a bright flash above us. Obviously very scary because, as anybody who, who knows how television works, our live trucks have these large masts that go up in the air, and you don't want them too close to power lines. Bad things can happen, and so that's kind of what we immediately assumed, that perhaps something had happened to our mast. We now think, it's clearer now, that a power line came down probably directly behind us, and it is still sparking, it's still flaming on the ground. The fire department is here. I'm inside our live truck, our photographer's outside, and that's kind of where he's staying. This is where I'm staying. We don't want to get out of the truck right now because we are pretty close to this, as you can see. But I'm okay, Brian is okay, and the firefighters are on scene, but you can still see that that power line sparking and flaming. It's right next to a car. It looked at one point as if the tire was burning. That's this parked car that's been here all morning. Somebody's resident, belongs to somebody, I'm sure, but some pretty dramatic pictures right now. You can still see it sparking. But so far we are safe. Well, I'm just staying inside the truck.
Yeah, that's no longer sparking. That's a full-fledged fire going on there. We can tell from the flames on the far side. Can you tell if the car itself is on fire or just the tire?
I am only looking through our rear view mirror. I don't want to open the door to take a look back because this is actually directly behind me. Like I said earlier, it did seem as if the tire was on fire at one point. But it is hard to tell. It's hard to say how close this power line is actually sitting next to that car.
Lincoln, you can see your photographer, Brian Smith, and he's in a safe situation as well?
He is in a safe situation. He's further away from the truck. He's outside right now. And there are firefighters standing next to him. So I would assume he's in a safe situation, but we've basically been instructed. I've been instructed to stay inside, just to be on the safe side, on the cautious side. As I've mentioned earlier this morning, I was talking earlier about a lot of this snow sticking vertically to surfaces. It's very sticky snow, it's very wet, heavy snow, and I'm looking at a lot of the branches and trees in front of us, and they're being weighed down with a lot of snow, and obviously I can only speculate at this point, but that may have been what happened. It finally reached down onto a power line, perhaps a branch did, and something blew, the power line came down, we saw several bright flashes. We didn't hear any type of explosion, but you definitely felt that zap in the air. You could hear that zap, and now we're seeing the aftermath of it as firefighters try to get this under control. They could be waiting for power company officials to get out here to try and cut power to the line. Right now, we're just waiting to see how they handle this.
And as people probably know, you're dealing with electricity there and moisture on the ground. Water can conduct electricity, so you don't want to get too close to that. It seems that the firefighters are not actually trying to put that fire out at this time. They're closer to you than they are to this car that's on fire, right?
Yes, I can actually see them out the front window of our live truck. Some firefighters suiting up. I would assume they're just sort of getting a lay of things, trying to see where they need to go from here. I saw some firefighters checking a power pole near us, perhaps looking for some sign on there as to where they need to go to cut power. I don't know if that's something they would do or they would wait for power company officials. But I definitely see some guys suiting up. They're not in a hurry. They're not running over there to put it out. There are no structures in danger at this point, except for that car right next to it. But definitely pretty scary this morning when this happened.
Lincoln, you've been out there all morning long for us covering the significant snowfall at that elevation. As you said, you saw some sparks. I mean, did you hear some branches coming down? Is this right on Skyline there or more on Thompson?
It is more on, it's right at the intersection, Natalie, of Skyline and Thompson. I think it's probably, oh, now we see some firefighters actually starting to spray some water on on this thing now. It looks like they're spraying it directly on the car, as if the car did catch fire. You can still see the line sparking as they spray it, though. Right along Thompson, at the intersection with Thompson and Skyline, there isn't a whole lot of traffic up here. I am starting to see a little bit of a backup. There's 3 cars behind the fire truck right now. So this isn't affecting too many people in terms of your morning commute, but it's definitely something that's happening right now, and something that was definitely worrisome for us, but glad to see the firefighters here right now.
100%, and we know that our crews have all been through this training here, so if and when you come into this situation as power lines come down, so I'm glad to see you guys are also very safe in handling this.
And it's amazing to watch those firefighters at work right now. Electrical fires and car fires are different than structure fires. Is how you're going to put them out. They're trying to use water at this point, but it may take some kind of chemical foam as well. Amazing pictures. Again, this is up on Skyline Boulevard. Way high up in the West Hills. We've been there all morning, keeping an eye on it, because that's the most significant snow we've seen. Go ahead, Lincoln.
Signal anybody. I'm sorry, our producer was talking to me. I'm hoping to get a firefighter to talk to right now, but they're all kind of busy right now, and I'm having trouble signaling any one of them. But as soon as I do get one over here, we'll try to get some more details for you guys.
Lincoln,
what were you saying, Carl?
Lincoln, I would imagine there's plenty of black smoke around there as those tires have both caught fire, at least on the front of the car.
Yeah, you can see the smoke coming. Right now, it kind of looks like it's turned color with the water they're spraying on it, but of course it is still dark outside, a little hard to tell. There is a lot of smoke. You can definitely... Whoa. Okay, you saw that. We saw that. Did you guys see that happen?
We did. I'm glad to see the firefighters still right there and okay as well.
I didn't see what happened to any firefighters. I don't know how close they were. I see them walking away right now through the rearview mirror.
Yeah, the 2 that were up close fighting the fire are okay. They went off to the right side of our screen. That was a major arc there in that electrical power line. That's probably similar to what you saw in the beginning, right, Lincoln, when it came down?
That actually may have been the worst that I saw right there. Mainly because it was probably on the ground. The flashes that we saw beforehand, they were, of course, above us. We heard the zapping above us. This one seemed a lot closer because it was right down on the ground.
Lincoln, any sign of PGE crews yet approaching that area?
Not from the angle that I can see. We're still just seeing firefighters right now. So no sign of PGE crews at this point. I am assuming they're on their way. We called 911. They told us they would probably be coming up here, the PGE crews. But of course, a resident did actually walk by right before I talked to you guys and said there was a fire station very close to here. I wasn't aware of that, but they were here within minutes, within probably 2 minutes of me calling 911. So they were very close by.
And again, we're dealing with an electrical power line that came down here, and our crews are trained on how to deal with that. And one of the things is you want to stay off the ground if at all possible, because you're not sure what kind of arcing that power line is going to do through the ground. And when the ground is wet with snow and moisture, that even makes the problem a little bit more serious. Firefighters are properly equipped to do that. That's why you can see Lincoln there on the right side of your screen has been instructed to stay in the van. That right now is the safest place to be for him with this electrical problem. And you always want to be safe. If there's a power line like this in your neighborhood, whether it's wet or snowy or not, you want to get as far away from it as possible, and if possible, not have your feet on the ground, especially if it's wet.
Lincoln, had you seen much traffic in this neighborhood throughout the morning anyway with this amount of snow? And have those barricades been up due to the snow, or is this new with the power line down and the fire situation?
Did you mention barricades? I'm sorry, Natalie. What did you say about the barricades?
I'm asking you about those barricades. Have those been up for a while due to the snow, or has traffic been getting through up until this happened?
Yeah, the barricades that I mentioned earlier in our story when we were talking, they were up here when we got here. It's unclear why they were set up here. They were covered with snow. There hasn't been a whole lot of traffic up in this intersection, up in this area. We've seen maybe a total of 25, 30 cars all morning long and coming very sporadically. We've seen a few snowplows come too. So it doesn't appear like this is a heavily traveled area. Perhaps people are staying away because of the snowy conditions. But that's one thankful thing. There aren't a whole lot of people in this area. We didn't notice any cars driving by as this power line arced and fell to the ground. We're seeing less flames now, or fewer flames, as I look out my rearview mirror. And there's another arc right there. Very, very bright when that happens. a dangerous situation.
And now look at the flames.
I can see
the fire's increasing, Lincoln. Again, it had decreased a little bit, but it's back up again with that huge arc you're seeing again.
Yeah, Lincoln, you need to check in with Brian and see if you and Brian need to get out of that location. Brian is standing outside the vehicle getting these pictures for us. What you're seeing right now is the arcing and lots of smoke as well through this.
Natalie, can you hear me?
Yes, Lincoln, go.
I do want to make it clear that Brian has moved away from the camera. He is backed up. Now he's moved forward. Firefighters are close to him, though. He is safe at this point. There are firefighters near him, and now he's going to go ahead and move it back again, moving back towards the back of the fire truck. And I've been told it's the safest for me just to stay inside the truck here, even though I'm a little bit closer. Definitely not going to try and get out at this point.
So now that's the other side of the power line. We were looking to what would have been the passenger side of your vehicle where we saw the car that was on fire that the firefighters were dealing with. Now that's the driver's side, so that's the other side of that power line.
I think that's correct. I'm having a hard time seeing just because my only vantage point is looking through my rear view mirror. We don't have a good sense, or I don't have a good sense of exactly where things are at this point because I only have a limited viewpoint. Yeah, but if that's what you're seeing through the camera, Carl.
Lincoln, the picture we're seeing right now is to the driver's side of your vehicle, and that's that's a different place than that power line was creating the arc and the flames that we're seeing from previous.
Okay, and now I'm turning around and I'm actually looking at our monitor in the live truck. I now see what you're seeing. Yeah, that would appear to be a different part of the power line, so this is definitely a dangerous situation up here. It's hard to tell whether it's the snow weighing down those power lines themselves or whether it's trees coming down on the power line, but no matter what, definitely a dangerous situation up here. And there are people milling about. We have firefighters here. There are residents now that have started to come out and see what is happening. It's still pretty scary, though. People coming through on bikes right now, so there are a lot of people standing around. This is starting to capture more attention, as I'm sure the bright light starting to reflect around this neighborhood. People trying to come out and see what's going on. Lincoln,
how many crews? Do you have one fire truck up there at this point responding, or have you seen others show up?
I see one fire truck in front of me. I don't believe there's any behind, but I cannot see actually down Skyline Boulevard at this point, so I couldn't tell you if there are more.
Yeah, prior to that last big white flash that we were dealing with, Lincoln, there was a car that the fire crew had turn around. We saw them basically do the wide turn in the road and go the opposite direction.
And if Brian's camera is pointed down Skyline, if you guys can't see any other fire trucks, then I'm confident in saying there are no other crews up here except one truck because his camera is pointed down the opposite direction.
And where is this truck driving through right now? Give us an idea of location, where he's coming from and heading towards.
I believe it looks like he just came off of Thompson right now, and I'm not sure where he's going, and now he's flipping around, coming almost in front of me. I don't know where he came from. That was a surprise to me, but now he's going the opposite direction down Skyline. I'm not sure who let him through, if he came down from a driveway. There's another car that's going through. It's hard for me to tell where these guys are coming from just because of my limited viewpoint. I don't know if you guys can see it better from the camera angle.
Lincoln, we're watching this fire now, but if you look out, again, your passenger window on that initial car that we saw catch on fire, is that still arcing as well, or is that still burning, or is that part out?
It looks like that part is out. I do see firefighters hovering below it, spraying some water on the tires. Right now, it doesn't look like they're too worried about a live power line at that location, and Brian's actually moving the camera. You can see now perhaps those firefighters spraying that car, spraying the tire, dousing it with water. You can still see a little bit of smoke rising from it, but at that point where that first line came down, I don't see any sparking or flames anymore. The flashing that you're seeing is from that second big arc that we saw on the different part of the power line or a different line altogether.
All right, Lincoln Graves live with our photographer Brian Smith up there on Skyline Boulevard. Keep an eye on this power line that's come down. It's burned at least one car. It looks like firefighters are letting some traffic get through right now. We're going to let you get a grasp on what's going on there, Lincoln, and we will check back with this really dramatic video that we're seeing right now. We do know there's some people getting up and ready here at the 6:30, 6:38 right now.